Growing up in Midtown Manhattan, I have no official way of saying when I came out. I knew I was different. I knew that I was not into sports and things like that. And I was very interested in the movies and theater and so forth. And then when I reached puberty, I knew what I was. And because living in New York, there were so many people like me all around. So I could identify very quickly with what I was and who I was. I never went through the drama that so many people who were similar to me. And we're talking about, you know, the 50s and the 60s when what we were was taboo and we were referred to as queers and fairies. I went to the School of Fine Arts at Boston University. I was in the theater program. And simultaneously, I was going to the Boston Ballet School and studying ballet. I think that's what kept me in college the whole 4 years. But there were so many gay guys like myself and upperclassmen, and it was a small, insulated part of the university. It was all very comfortable. And of course, at this time, I was becoming less afraid of exposing myself for who I was, and was very confident in being gay. It didn't bother me for a second. I just lucked out by living in New York and then going to BU, which was a progressive school, taking progressive courses, and I had no obstacles in my way. I think how fortunate I am where I learned of people much later who had all obstacles in front of them. I'd come into town for Christmas vacation, see a lot of shows, and then I'll hit the bars. And I met a lot of people, you know, got myself into some romance, so to speak. And yeah, that's what we did. I didn't cruise parks and things like that.
But you knew that existed.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Sure. So did you see much of a change as you started working in the 60s?
No, because I was still dancing. I was starting to choreograph. I hooked up with Michael Bennett and we were a team choreographing and things like that. But talking about Stonewall, I used to go there. I mean, I was there 2 nights before the famous raid. And when we heard Stonewall was raided and what the gay patrons did and how they reacted, we were all terribly proud and enthused and hoping this was the beginning of a revolution. Of course, we didn't know the impact of it then. As time went on and we kept on hearing about Stonewall, 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 we thought it was just one more raid and wouldn't go away. But this time the gay crowd, you know, put their foot down and just wouldn't have it anymore. Coming out is the most important thing in our gay history. The more we come out, the stronger we are. And staying in the closet for so long has kept us down. And by now, our own revolution that just keeps continuing has been about openness and about coming out. Well, as you know, I started as a dancer on Broadway, and I met Michael Bennett while we were dancers, and we shared the typical chorus boy walk-up apartment. And he was very ambitious and wanted to be a choreographer. And then he asked me to work with him as his associate. And we were best friends, and I think that's what made it so successful. Our first dynamic breakthrough was doing Chorus Line. And we opened in '75, and the momentum was tremendous. And then in the early '80s, this dark thing started happening, and people started getting sick, especially in the Broadway community. And it was getting worse and worse, and then it had a name. It was called GRID, and then it had a name, and they changed it to AIDS. And all these beautiful people started keeling over and dying, and some quickly, some it took a long time. And in Chorus Line, we had so many of these young men get sick and die. And it was happening in every show. It was heartbreaking. And I had a group of 10 friends. And out of that 10 friends, 8 of them died. So it was down to 2 of us. And Michael, we were at the office, and Michael went off to the doctor and came home, and he said, I've got this thing on my foot. and it was that red, black and blue patch. And we both knew what it was. And I think we both broke down in tears and didn't know what to do. It was such a stigma. You couldn't say someone was sick at the time like that, because now here was the intolerance. You know, people didn't want to touch you or know who you were, and it was devastating. And I'm going everywhere without him, and they're going, "Where's Michael?" "Oh, he's not feeling so hot. I'd go see a chorus line company. He's not doing well. He'll see you soon." And the lie kept perpetuating and perpetuating. And Michael was getting sicker and sicker. This was 80, we found out in 85 he got sick, and then he died in 87. And those years were all about funerals and the AIDS impact on the gay community and what a devastating effect it had. To see what's happened with marriage equality and how far we've come, I never thought it would happen this quickly. But thanks to organizations like Lambda Legal and Equality Florida, they've pushed it. And we are so fortunate to have a president like Obama who really gave us the green light. It's remarkable, and I'm so proud of it. And I'm proud of being gay and who I am. And I think we're a great society and bring so much to America and the world.